Hello everyone, myself Assistant Professor Partha Mistry from Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center Navsari. Today we discuss our technical topic, that is Norton's theorem, from our chapter number 1, network theorems. In last video we discussed about statement of Norton theorem, then after its suitable example with reference to Norton's theorem. In this video, we discuss more two examples with another different configuration of Norton's theorem of our subject, that is electrical circuit analysis, having the subject code that is 3130906, semester 3rd, year 2nd, from electrical engineering department. So let us start the statement of Norton's theorem. Then we go for the example number 3. Then we go for the example number 4. And finally we discuss the GTU questions which will ask in your GTU exam. So again friends, we recall the statement of Norton's theorem. Norton's theorem states that with respect to any pair of terminals of an active network, the active network may be replaced by an equivalent network containing an independent current source IN in parallel with an impedance Zn. So any network, any electrical network can replace with equivalent impedance, or we can say Norton impedance, that is Zn, in parallel with Norton current source, or we can call IN. So entire circuit can be replaced by both the parameters putting in parallel with reference to load. IN is the current flowing between the two terminals when these terminals are short circuited. So current will be flow whenever the circuit terminals are shorted. So by short circuiting the load terminals, we can easily calculate the load current IN. The impedance Zn is the equivalent impedance of the network as seen from the two terminals with all independent sources are suppressed. So we also calculate the equivalent impedance Zn as same as ZTH, or we can say in Thevenin theorem we calculate the ZTH. So in Norton theorem we same procedure we have to follow, but instead of ZTH we write over here Zn. So Norton impedance is also somewhere called as Thevenin's impedance ZTH. Both are same. So procedure find out for the both the impedance. So Zn and ZTH are same. So entire network A with load terminal AB will replace like this. So the total Norton source is find out and put in parallel with Norton impedance Zn across the load terminal AB. So any active network now converted to Norton's equivalent network as shown in this figure. Here is the equation for the load current IL. So load current IL equals to IN multiplied by ZTH, or we can say Zn, both are same as we discussed earlier, divided by ZTH plus Z load, where Z load is equals to load impedance. So where IN equals to Norton's short circuit current, ZTH equals to Thevenin's equivalent impedance, or we can say Norton's equivalent impedance, and Z load equals to impedance offered by load, or we can say impedance of load. So whenever the question asks that find out the load current using Norton's theorem, so after finding all the values, we apply this equation to get the load current IL. Now we start the example number 3. The question is that find the Norton's equivalent circuit across the terminals AB of the circuit shown below. So here one circuit is given, one dependent source and one independent source is given. So 12-volt source we see over here, it is independent source, whereas 2IA current dependent current source, one dependent source is given over here. So using this theorem we calculate the value of In and Zn and put them in parallel, so finally we get the answer. So our first step is to determine the value of In. Short circuit the terminals AB, 5 ohm resistors get short circuited. So our first step is to determine the value of In. So whatever the load terminal provided over here, so between A and B we have to short this terminal. So this 5 ohm is also in parallel with terminals A and B. So this 5 ohm will also be short circuited and entire circuit will becomes like this. So 12-volt source in series with 10 ohm, one dependent source 2IA and short circuit terminals A, B, and mark that IN current will be flowing from AB or short circuiting the terminal AB. So we calculate the value of IN from figure B. So using Kirchhoff current law at node 1. So in figure we mark over here the node 1 because we have to find the value of In. So using Kirchhoff current law at node 1. So total current IA which will be incoming from this side and twice IA which will be also incoming to the node 1 from this side and In will be outcoming from the node 1. So sum of current entering equals to sum of current outgoing. As per the KCL we can write IA plus 2IA which is equals to In. So short circuit current In equals to 3IA we get over here. But over here the value of IA is unknown. So to find the value of IA, apply Kirchhoff voltage law to the outer loop. So this is our outer loop. So this dependent source is not in count because we follow the outer loop. So only two element over here, one is voltage source and one is 10 ohm resistance is keep in mind. So 10 into IA minus 2 plus minus 12 equals to 0. So minus 12 comes to the right hand side. So 10 IA equals to 12 we can write easily from the outer loop applying the KVL. So from that IA equals to 1.2 ampere we get. So our target is fulfilled and put the value of IA in equation number 1. Hence, In equals to 3 times IA equals to 1.2 ampere. So finally we get the value of In, that is 3.6 ampere. So here we clearly find that the value of In, that is equals to 3.6 ampere. Now we calculate the value of VTH from figure A. Now first of all we recall the figure A. So VTH means open circuit voltage between AB. So what is VTH? So we can write that the voltage across 5 ohm resistors is nothing but the VTH. So to find the value of VTH, voltage across 5 ohm resistor. So 5 multiplied by current through 5 ohm resistor. So for that we have to find the value of current through 5 ohm resistor. So VTH equals to 5 multiplied by 3IA. So how 3IA will be multiplied? Because 3IA is nothing but our IN, and IN is flowing from terminal A to B, or we can say one resistor is over here given to this 5 ohm. So IN will also flow from these resistance. So we can easily write over here that VTH equals to 5 multiplied by 3 into IA, simply Ohm's law. So 5 multiplied by 3, so 15 IA we get over here. But we not get the exact value of VTH. For that we have to find the value of IA. Now we find the IA to get VTH. Apply KVL in figure A. So in figure A, apply the Kirchhoff voltage law. So simply 10 into IA plus 5 in bracket IA plus 2IA, because on that junction these two currents are meet. Minus 12 equals to 0 because voltage is in the charging mode. So minus 12 equals to 0. By simplification we get 25 IA equals to 12. IA equals to 12 by 25 ampere. So put this value in 2, we get the value of VTH. So by putting IA equals to 12 by 25 and simplify, we get the value of VTH equals to 36 divided by 5. So VTH equals to 7.2 volt. So therefore, we have the VTH, we have the IN. So from that we can calculate the value of Zn, or we can say Rn, or we can say Norton's equivalent impedance. So over here Zn equals to VTH upon IN, 7.2 divided by 3.6. So Zn we get over here, that is 2 ohm. So why this equation is followed? Because here one dependent source is given in example number 1 and 2. So we can calculate the value of Zn directly from the load side, but in this we cannot process that process follow, because over here one dependent source is given. So that's why we apply this equation. So we get the value of Zn, that is 2 ohm. Now we can easily develop the Norton's equivalent circuit. So for that, current IN is put in series with Zn with reference to terminals A and B. So this is our final answer, and you can achieve exact 7 marks in your G2 exam. So this is all about Norton's equivalent circuit for this example. Now we discuss the another example with another configuration, that is example number 4. So here example number 4 is placed. Question is that determine the current flowing from R equals to 1 ohm resistor of the network shown in following figure using Norton's theorem. Question asked in GTU June 2013 for 7 marks, and also it will be asked in 2017 for 7 marks. So one circuit is given over here. So 1 ampere source is given, resistance are given, total 4 resistance is given, one voltage source is also given in between them, and one load of 1 ohm is also given over here between terminal AB. So mark this figure as a figure number A. So to obtain Norton's equivalent, we short circuit the terminals AB. So we first short the terminals AB. So this is short circuited, and let the current through the short circuit will be ISC. So our first step is to find out the value of ISC. But this configuration is different. Why different? Because here there is no dependent source is given. So it is quite easy for us to calculate the value of Zn. So in this case we calculate the value of Zn from directly from the load side. So first of all we sort the AB, mark the current IN and calculate the value of IN. So figure becomes like this. We have to short the terminals and mark the Norton current IN. So here the three loops we can see 1, 2, 3. We give the current name I1, I2 and I3 respectively, and we made the mesh equations for three different loops, so we get the three equations. So if initially we apply the KVL to loop 1, so equation will be 3I1 plus 2 I1 minus I3, because the contribution of 2 ohm is in loop number 1 and loop number 3. But here we consider the loop number 1, so that's why majority current is I1 and minority current is I3. So we make the difference I1 minus I3 over here. Then we go forward, plus to minus means discharging mode, so plus 1 we write over here. Again from this to this side, minus 2 plus means this is in charging mode, so this source is considered as a negative sign, so minus 3 equal to 0. So simplify all these things, we get the equation number 1, that is 5I1 minus twice I3, which is equals to 2. Say it equation number 1. Similarly, in loop 2 we apply KVL, so we get 2 into I2 minus I3, because 2 ohm resistance contribute both in loop number 2 and loop number 3 as well, plus 2I2 and minus 1. So why minus 1? Because 1 volt source is in the charging mode, which is equals to 0. So by simplification we get the value, that is 4I2 minus twice I3, which is equals to 1. Similarly, in loop 3 we apply KVL. We see that in loop 3 there is no source is contributed, only 2 resistance will be there. So 2 into I3 minus I2 plus 2 into I3 minus I1, which is equals to 0. Further simplification we get the minus twice I1 minus 2I2 plus 4I3 equals to 0. Say it equation number 3. So here we have equation number 1, 2 and 3 with respect to I1, I2 and I3. So we put in matrix form. So in matrix form we get 502, 0, 4, minus 2, minus 2, minus 2, 4, I1, I2, I3, which is equals to 210. So from that we calculate the value of delta. Delta equals to 5 bracket 16 minus 4 minus 2 bracket 8 bracket over, which is equals to 60 minus 16. Delta we get 44. So using Cramer's rule, we calculate the value of I3. I3 is nothing but our IN. So using Cramer's rule, 502, 041 minus 2 0 divided by delta. Putting all the values we get IN equals to I3 equals to 26 divided by 44 ampere. So here our loop number 3, that is current flowing from loop number 3 is I3. So from loop number 3 our terminal is sorted. So whatever the current in loop number 3 is nothing but our short circuit current. So we find over here I3. I3 is nothing but our IN. So IN equals to 26 divided by 44 ampere. So here we get the value of IN. Now our next target is to find the value of ZTH, because to develop the Thevenin circuit we have the two values, equivalent impedance and Norton current source. So apart from that, we in first step we find the value of IN. So in this step we find the value of ZTH. So from the figure, suppress all the sources. So voltage source whatever is given, that is sorted, and current source is given, load is removed. So figure will be like this. So we can see here figure number C. So from the load side, we can see that all the sources is given, that is suppressed. So the voltage source are sorted and figure will be like this. So ZTH equals to 3 parallel to plus 2 parallel to. So consider these node. So 3 and 2 ohm are in parallel, and consider these node 2 ohm and this 2 ohm both are in parallel. And if we simplify this figure, above figure, so we can easily develop this kind of figure. So between AB, so start from this point. So 3 and 2 are in parallel, 3 and 2 are in parallel, and between one point is there, and apart from that point we get this 2 ohm, both are connected to point B. So parallel combination of this plus parallel combination of this is nothing but our ZTH. So which is find out over here, 3 parallel 2 plus 2 parallel 2. So 6 by 5 plus 4 by 4. So ZTH or Zn we get over here, that is 2.2 ohm. So we have this RTH, we have the IN. So now Norton circuit is built up. So as in figure E, so this is our figure E. Source is IN, that is 26 by 44 ampere, and 2.2 ohm, that is our Norton's equivalent impedance, we put in parallel. And in between AB, again we re-establish our load, that is RL, that is equals to 1 ohm. So our target is to find the value of current flowing from load. So Norton circuit we build over here like this. So we have to find the value of current, that is I, or we can say load current. So IN and impedance is here. So by current divider rule, or we can say current division rule, so I will be total current I. So total current I multiply by the resistance which is in parallel. So parallel resistance is nothing but 2.2 ohm, which is in parallel with current source, divided by total resistance, that is whatever the resistance given in your circuit, that is 2.2 plus 1 ohm. So both added in the denominator. So we get the value of current, or we can say load current. So 26 divided by 44 multiplied by 2.2 divided by 3.2. By simplify all these things, we get the value of load current, which is flow from the 1 ohm resistance, that is I equals to 0.406 ampere. This is our final answer. So after following all these procedure, we get Z equals to 7 marks for this Norton circuit. So this is all about Norton's theorem. So these are the GTO questions which we will repeatedly ask in our exam. State and explain Norton's theorem, which will be repeated in 2018, 2011, 2009 for 3 marks, and in June 2013, June 2014 and January 2015 for 7 marks. These questions are repeated. Numericals also asked. So the determine the current from R equals to 1 ohm resistor of the network shown in following figure using Norton's theorem. This question asked in November 2017, June 2013 for 7 marks. Another question is that in following figure, if 2-volt source is replaced by an open circuit, find Thevenin's and Norton's equivalent circuit across V2 and V3. So this question is asked in GTU May 2011 for 7 marks. So this is all about Norton's theorem and its application with respect to examples of any electrical circuit. Thank you.